2025 seems to be the year of really thin smartphones. In my last video, I talked about the Spark 40 Pro Plus. I thought that phone was really thin. This phone's thinner. It's the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this phone is really thin. It's about 5.95 millimeters. It's definitely impressive how really slim this phone is. It's a phone that you would show people and they would be impressed. Like, your friends are going to see this and go, oh my God, it's so thin. Like, this is so cool. And it is cool. But at the same time, you're not going to buy a really slim phone if it sucks at being a good phone. So did they remove a ton of features to make this phone this thin? Is this really slim phone actually a good phone? That's what we want to find out. Even though this phone is super thin, its box is quite big because it comes with a ton of accessories. They give you everything you'd need, from little things like a screen protector to really essential things like a charging adapter. They give you everything. On the right side of the phone, you'd find the power and volume buttons. The power button is green, while the rest of the phone isn't. I don't think that really serves any purpose, the power button being green, but it does look cool. Up top, you'd find one mic and one speaker, and then at the bottom, you'd see the second speaker, a USB-C port, the second mic, and a tray for just your 2 nano SIM cards. You notice that there is no headphone jack on this phone. That might upset some people, and I think Infinix thought of that. That's why they added a USB-C wired earphone. So even though this phone doesn't have a headphone jack, you can still listen to music with wired earphones. It just has to be this phone's wired earphones. And then, because this phone doesn't have SD card support, I would actually recommend you go with the 256 gig storage variant. That costs 291,000 Naira, about 28,000 more than the 128 gig variant. I think you should spend the extra money, especially if you're someone who likes to take lots of photos and videos. Oh, and for biometrics, we get an under-display fingerprint reader. It's an optical sensor and it works well. At first glance, not a lot has changed design-wise when compared to its predecessor. We still get the same triple camera look, but instead of having one big camera module like on its predecessor, we now have what looks like floating camera rings. I think it looks cool. I didn't notice this at first, but the halo light is still here. It's hidden underneath the last lens and can come on when charging, when you receive a notification, or even when your battery is low. It's not turned on by default, so you'd have to turn it on yourself in the settings app. I think the Hot 60 Pro Plus is a good looking phone. It's quite minimal, it's got a matte back, and it also has really good color options. There are the chill and low-key colors like black and silver, and then there are also the more colorful options like coral tides and misty violet. I would have really liked the misty violet. Anyway, moving on from colors, let's talk durability. With really thin phones, there's always that concern that the phone would bend easily or that if it drops, it would break. And to those concerns, Infinix says that every part of this phone is reinforced to resist damage. Aerospace-grade aluminium is what they use for the unibody midframe. The back panel is made of ultra-thin fiberglass, and then the display has Corning Gorilla Glass 7i protection. They also said that this phone is 1.5 meters drop test certified. So in summary, Infinix is saying that even though this phone is really thin, it's also quite durable. Like, you don't have to treat it like an egg. You can use it as you would use every other phone. This phone is also IP65 rated, so if some water drops on it, you would also be fine. I kind of glanced over this earlier, but this phone has stereo speakers, JBL-tuned stereo speakers. Here's what they sound like. The Hot 60 Pro Plus has a pretty good display. It's big, it's curved, the bezels are really small, its panel is AMOLED, and it's also really sharp. Infinix is saying that this phone has a 1.5K 144Hz display. But they're also saying that what you're seeing on screen might not always be in that 1.5K resolution. And then for the refresh rate, they're also saying that only 3 apps would refresh at 144 Hz. Every other app would refresh at 90 Hz or 120 Hz. Now, even though that's not great, one thing to remember is that every other phone at this price has a 1080p 120Hz display. So even with everything said, this is still a really good, sharp, smooth display. It's also bright. It peaks at 4500 nits. It's very visible outdoors. Okay, so now let's talk performance. This uses the new Helio G200 chipset. This phone and Tecno Spark 40 Pro Plus are the only phones for now using this chipset. This new chipset is about 10% better than the Helio G100. 10% is not a massive jump, and to be honest, you might not notice it right away, or even at all. But it's still nice that they went with the newer, slightly faster, slightly better chipset. We get 8GB of RAM on this phone, and what's cool is that we get the same 8GB for both storage variants. So if you go with the base variant, you would still get a good multitasking experience. Samsung and Redmi should copy this. Infinix says that they refreshed their whole OS, and because of that, this phone now feels faster. And I think I agree, because when I go to change my wallpaper, there is no delay at all from tapping apply and the wallpaper changing. It's instant. So yeah, the phone does feel kind of faster. Now of course, this is still a budget phone, so it's not going to open apps instantly or play games at the highest graphics settings, but it would handle all of your basic needs really well, without any serious hiccups. XOS 15.1.1, which is based on Android 15, is what this phone comes with. Like I said before, Infinix made some changes to their OS. Most of the changes are subtle. You might miss some of them. The app icons were redesigned. Apps have also been arranged into groups, just like on MIUI. There are new wallpapers. And I don't know if this has always been there, but there's this option called Custom One Take. You just take a picture, crop it, hit save, and then you get to choose from 5 different animations. It goes from your always on display to your lock screen and then to your home screen. My favorite is the second one. We also get new interactive AOD styles. They're under exclusive series. They're nice. This phone's default voice assistant is the Google Assistant, not Gemini. But you can download Gemini from the Play Store and then it will become the default assistant. Or you can use Folax, Infinix's AI assistant. If you go into the Settings app and click on Infinix AI, then click on Folax Voice, you can change the default voice assistant from Google to Folax. One thing I like to do with her is open up the camera app, hold down the power button, and then ask her to tell me about what I'm seeing. Most of the time, she gets it right, which is good. And I also like that I can ask her follow-up questions, and she'll answer, almost like we're having a conversation. There are a couple other AI features on this phone. There's AI Eraser, AI Call Translation, Circle to Search, and a bunch of other ones. You can find all of them under Infinix AI in the settings. The Hot 60 Pro Plus uses a 50 megapixel Sony IMX882 sensor. It's actually the only working camera on the back of this phone, even though it looks like it has 3. I believe one of them is an Aeroblaster. I'm not sure if the Hot 50 Pro Plus had one, but yeah, Aeroblaster. On the front, we have a 13 megapixel selfie camera. We also have a dual front-facing flash. With the right lighting conditions, you can expect quite decent results from that selfie camera. It's not going to be the most detailed, but it will still be good. The main camera, on the other hand, does better with detail. I went to a restaurant a couple days ago, so I used this to take pictures. And yeah, I was really impressed. It was bright and sunny that day, so that helped. But still, I really liked how it handled color, how it handled detail. The images just looked right. And then, in less than ideal lighting conditions, this still did quite okay. I actually liked taking pictures with this phone, because most photos turned out really well. But let me know what you guys think of this phone's camera in the comments. Okay, so this is what the front-facing camera and rear-facing camera of the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus looks like. Now, both cameras can shoot in 2K 30 FPS, but in that mode, you don't get any form of stabilization. If you want some level of stabilization, you have to switch down to 1080p 30 FPS, which is the mode I'm currently shooting in. So let me know what you guys think of this phone's video quality. Let me also know what you think of its mic quality, how is dynamic range, how is color. Just let me know what you guys think of this phone's camera down in the comments. This phone comes with a 5160 milliamp hour battery. If you're wondering how they were able to fit such a big battery in a phone this thin, it's because they used industry-leading non-silicon thin batteries. The battery life on this phone is actually fine. On most days, this should have no issues lasting the whole day. But then, of course, on the heavy days with constant gaming or the phone running heavy tasks, you'd have to charge before the end of the day. But what's nice is that charging is quite quick. This phone supports up to 45 watts of wired charging. It will take a little over an hour to get this phone to 100% from 0%. I also noticed in the settings that this phone supports bypass charging. It's the feature that lets you power the phone directly when gaming or watching videos to preserve your battery's health. It's not turned on by default, so you kind of have to turn it on. Oh, and the 60 Pro Plus supports reverse wire charging. Okay, so to answer the question I asked early in the video, is this really slim phone a good phone? The answer is yes. Infinix did not sacrifice a lot of features, if any, to keep this phone slim. It nails all the basics: good design, beautiful display, best-in-class performance, very good main camera, decent battery life, and fast charging. For less than $200, this is a really good phone. I would have complained about lack of software support, but then I saw that this phone would be getting 3 major Android upgrades and 5 years of security patches, which is nice. We just hope that these updates would come on time. So is this the new phone to beat at this sub $200 price? Well, I think this phone and the TechnoSpark 40 Pro Plus are the phones to beat. Anyway, that's it from me. Let me know what you guys think of this phone down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.